15-year-old Sam Ruthe from New Zealand has just become the youngest athlete ever to break the 4-minute mark. For decades, the 4-minute mile was seen as an unbreakable barrier until Roger Bannister shattered it in 1954. But no one expected a teenager to rewrite history like this. This jaw-dropping achievement is sending shockwaves through the track world, and the story behind it is mind-blowing. At the 2025 ACA Mile Night in Auckland, New Zealand, Sam Ruthe clocked an astonishing 3:58.35, completely rewriting the record books. This shatters the previous youngest sub-4 record held by Norwegian superstar Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who ran 3 minutes 58.07 seconds at age 16 years and 250 days old. What makes Ruthe's achievement even more remarkable? He accomplished this feat 24 days before his 16th birthday, nearly a full year younger than Ingebrigtsen during his historic run. The build-up to this historic moment has been nothing short of extraordinary. 2025 has already been a breakthrough year for Ruthe, with age group world records falling at his feet. He's run a blistering 7 minutes 56 seconds for the 3,000 meters, an incredible 3 minutes 41 seconds for the 1,500 meters, and had already shown his mile potential with a 4 minutes 01.72 seconds earlier this season. Each of these performances rewrote the record books for 15-year-olds, but breaking the 4-minute mile puts him in truly elite company. For this record attempt at Mount Smart Stadium, Ruthe had the perfect setup. The race featured strategic pacemaking from Ethan Smith, who took the field through the opening 800 meters right around the target pace of 1 minute and 58 seconds. Through the first 400 meters, Ruthe split approximately 59 seconds, exactly where he needed to be to have a chance at sub-4. Two-time Olympian Sam Tanner positioned himself directly in front of Ruthe, providing critical wind breakage and tactical support throughout the race.
Will Lewis still in that second position. Matthew Hussey third, the two Australians, Sam Ruthe fourth, the lead Kiwi. Here is the bell lap. David Lee in fifth.
As they passed the 800-meter mark, both Tanner and Ruthe clocked around 1:59, maintaining the perfect tempo needed for a sub-4 attempt. It was at this point that pacer Smick stepped off the track, leaving Tanner to guide the young phenom through the critical third lap. When they hit the 1,200-meter split at 2 minutes 59 seconds, it became clear that history was within reach. But wait, there is more. The final lap showcased the perfect execution of race strategy and raw talent. With 200 meters remaining, Tanner remained in front of Ruthe, maintaining the pace while protecting the teenager from any headwind. As they entered the final 100-meter stretch, Tanner swung wide to give Ruthe the room he needed to sprint toward history. The crowd rose to their feet as they watched the 15-year-old kick toward the finish line, ultimately stopping the clock at 3 minutes 58.35 seconds. What's particularly noteworthy about this performance was the evident teamwork. Tanner, who went on to win the race in 3 minutes 57.85 seconds, could be heard shouting encouragement down the final straight. Behind them, Benjamin Wall also dipped under the 4-minute barrier, making this a truly special night for New Zealand middle-distance running.
I was on the floor again. It really looked like Sam was coming up on, little Sam was coming up on Big Sam, or young Sam v old Sam. And yeah, I think we're going to have to wait for that result there. It was very, very close.
I need to get my voice back. My voice box was exploding. The crowd was going mental, just willing them both along to the finish. And I've got to give it to Ollie Chignell. If someone said to me how much money...
The achievement resonates so deeply because of its historical context. When Roger Bannister first broke 4 minutes in 1954, it made front-page international news. Doctors and scientists had previously believed the human body might not be capable of such a feat. A decade later, in 1964, Jim Ryan shocked the world by becoming the first high schooler to break the barrier with his 3:59 at the Compton Invitational. Now, Ruthe has pushed the boundaries even further by accomplishing this at just 15 years old. Athletics is in Ruthe's blood. His father, Ben Ruthe, was a national record holder in the 800 meters and 1,000 meters, while his mother was a national cross-country champion. His grandmother, Rosemary, was a championship 400-meter relay sprinter who captured Commonwealth Games gold in the 800-meter. After witnessing his son's historic achievement, Ben Ruthe was nearly speechless, saying, "I'm shocked, a bit relieved, stoked for him, a bit lost for words."
Oh, you can dance too.
New Zealand has a storied history in middle distance running. Legends like Peter Snell and Jack Lovelock set world records and reshaped the sport, while John Walker became the first man to run under 3 minutes 50 seconds in the mile in 1975 before claiming Olympic gold in the 1,500 meters the following year. Ruthe appears to be following directly in their footsteps, continuing this proud national tradition. Ruthe's feat is even more impressive given that he's breaking records once held by Jakob Ingebrigtsen, now a double Olympic champion and middle distance great. Achieving these milestones at an even younger age, Ruthe's trajectory points to something extraordinary. The sub-4-mile barrier has become more attainable in recent years, particularly with advancements in training methods and shoe technology. However, it remains one of the great benchmarks in athletics, a clear dividing line between good and truly exceptional middle-distance runners. For a 15-year-old to achieve this puts Ruthe in rarefied air. Looking ahead, there's speculation about what Ruthe might achieve before he even turns 16. Many believe he could target times in the 3 minutes 57 seconds or even 3 minutes 56 seconds range in the coming months. For comparison, Australian talent Cam Myers holds the fastest time for a 16-year-old with his 3 minutes 55.44 seconds. Myers, now 18, has gone on to break the under-20 indoor world mile record twice this year, most recently clocking an astonishing 3 minutes 47.48 seconds at the Wanamaker Mile in New York, the first time a teenager had broken 3 minutes 48 seconds for the mile, either indoors or outdoors. This creates an intriguing rivalry in the making between Oceania's two middle-distance prodigies. Myers has established himself as one of the world's premier young talents, but now Ruthe is making his case for future greatness. The potential matchups between these two over the coming years could deliver some truly spectacular races. Earlier this month, Ruthe demonstrated his versatility by becoming the youngest ever senior national champion at the New Zealand Track and Field Championships. His victory in the 3,000 meters, clocking 7 minutes 56.18 seconds, showcased both his endurance and tactical abilities against much older competitors. Wednesday's performance took more than 3 seconds off his previous best mile time of 4 minutes 1.72 seconds, which he set at the Cook's Classic in January, as well as improving on Tanner's New Zealand under-20 and under-19 record of 3 minutes 58.41 seconds.
50 cross the line. Sam Tanner leads Sam Ruthe onto the home straight. Here they come. The crowd roars them down the home straight. Eric Go Media, Mount Smart Stadium. Sam Tanner smiling. Sam Ruthe's right there. Woohoo! All right. That's a sub.
What comes next for Sam Ruthe is the big question. Will he focus on the mile or transition to the Olympic 1,500 meters? How his coaches manage his rapid rise will be crucial to his long-term success. For now, the track world can simply marvel. Ruthe's sub 4-minute mile isn't just about raw talent, it showcases his mental strength, race strategy, and ability to push through pain. At just 15, he's already proving he belongs among the best. Now, the athletics world is watching. Could he contend for major championships soon? Will he break records held by middle-distance legends? Given his trajectory, anything seems possible. Share your thoughts in the comment section, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.
You know what I actually think they should do?
What?
I think they should hold up one more year. I think they should build one stadium in the U.S. in one central
That's too expensive, bro.
city.
That's too expensive.
You think
Noah Lyles just got hit with a brutal reality check, and the track world can't stop talking about it. The Olympic gold medalist, known for his bold takes, suggested on his Beyond the Records podcast that Michael Johnson's Grand Slam track league should delay its launch to build its own stadium. But what seemed like a simple idea quickly backfired, triggering a harsh lesson in sports business that left Lyles and track fans stunned.
Unless we get like some billionaire investor.
I'm telling you, you think it's expensive until you realize, he's talking about all these sponsors that he has coming in to sponsor this event. You get in touch with Mondo, you get in touch with a city organization, and you create this stadium that's going to be used year round, and it's going to host 4 Grand Slams each year. One place.
That's too much, bro.
You say it's too much.
Lyles' specific suggestion that ignited the firestorm was his recommendation that instead of renting existing facilities, the Grand Slam track should hold up one more year and build one stadium in the U.S. in one central city to host 4 annual GST events. This idea was immediately challenged by his podcast co-host and fellow Olympic medalist Rai Benjamin, who pointed out that such an undertaking would be financially impractical because track and field is a non-revenue sport. While Benjamin's skepticism might have seemed like the voice of reason, both athletes soon found themselves being thoroughly educated by track and field commentators and business analysts who took to social media to dismantle their arguments. The most comprehensive public response came in a viral thread on X, formerly Twitter, by account Rory Dunk, which systematically explained why Lyles' stadium proposal demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding of sports business realities. The thread pointed out that constructing a dedicated stadium would require enormous upfront capital that the fledgling GST likely doesn't have at its disposal. Even if they do, stadiums take years to build. By the time it's ready, the league might not even exist. Renting venues, like other pro leagues do, is way cheaper and faster, the post explained, highlighting the practical financial considerations that Lyles apparently failed to consider before making his public recommendation.
In the set position, sent off. Second time of asking, clean break for the entire field. Kingston College are traveling well in lane 5. Calabar, they'll have some work to do. So it's Kingston.
Beyond the initial construction costs, the thread continued to educate the Lyles on the ongoing financial burden his proposal would create, detailing the substantial recurring maintenance expenses that would make a dedicated stadium financially unsustainable for a league hosting only 4 annual events. Year-round usage, utilities, security and staff, track resurfacing, and more would create an ongoing financial drain that would far outweigh any benefits of having a permanent facility, especially given the limited use that Lyles himself had suggested. This detailed breakdown of the financial reality revealed a surprising gap in business understanding from an athlete who has otherwise been savvy in building his personal brand and marketing presence in the sport.
I would love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
100%. All the way.
And then you become a challenger, right?
And then I become a challenger. If everything lines up. If everything lines up. I would love to be proven wrong. I would love nothing but for this to be successful.
Yeah.
Because if it does, the amount of benefits that it would provide, this could be a way for athletes to not have to only rely on world championships, because you could potentially be making more money consistently throughout the year. This would be able to provide a home for sponsors in the U.S. to come to. It would be a consistent place for people to watch track and field. You can bank off of world championships. You can bank off of the Olympics, hype, sprint, all that stuff.
Yeah,
this
just disrupt
could
the
be,
whole sport.
It would disrupt this world. That's why this
so
is
then the
actually
world
such
champs
a
would
crazy,
be like legit pointless.
We wouldn't be amateur anymore.
But wait, there is more. The public education didn't stop with Lyles, as Benjamin's characterization of track and field as a non-revenue sport also received a thorough correction. The viral thread explained that while track and field might not generate the massive revenues of major team sports like basketball or football, it does have significant revenue streams through sponsorships and television deals. Taking direct aim at Benjamin's comment, the Post pointedly noted, if track had zero revenue, Nike wouldn't be paying Rai Benjamin. His contract exists because there's some level of profitability in track, just not as much as the NBA or NFL. This observation highlighted a curious disconnect between Benjamin's own professional situation and his understanding of the sport's business model.
Cleanly, it is a fast start from Trayvon Bromwell and from Terence Jones. Noah Lyles driving hard here in the middle. It is going to be a win for Noah Lyles. Outside 650 this year, but an important win for Noah Lyles. He looks very pleased with that. He didn't get the perfect start. I've got to say his start was better last year.
He's got the job done there, Noah Lyles. He was, as you say, got out. Well, Marcel Jacobs looked like he got out a lot better than.
This latest controversy adds to a growing list of public statements that have put Lyles in the spotlight for reasons beyond his impressive performances on the track. From his comments about NBA champions not being world champions to claims about the potentially breaking Usain Bolt's records, Lyles has consistently generated headlines with his bold assertions. His ongoing criticism of the Grand Slam Track League appears to be part of a larger pattern of public positions that have alternately earned him admiration for his honesty and criticism for what some perceive as insufficient research before speaking. In this case, the detailed public response seemed to expose a lack of business understanding that undermined his credibility as a critic of the GST's business model.
It's pretty tight. Lyles will need a good leg here. Can he deliver? Was there ever any doubt? He promised 3. He's delivered 3 this week.
The Grand Slam Track League, founded by track legend Michael Johnson with a reported $30 million investment, aims to revolutionize how track and field is presented and monetized. Unlike the established Diamond League, which operates as a collection of independently managed meets under a common banner, the GST employs a unified ownership model similar to major professional sports leagues. Lyles has expressed skepticism about this approach, stating on his podcast, "The reason that I don't believe that can work is because the Diamond League meets are actually individual entities. Grand Slam is under one umbrella. It's all owned by Grand Slam. It's a business model." This critique, along with concerns about marketing and scheduling, has positioned Lyles as one of the most prominent voices challenging Johnson's vision for the sport. Inaugural GST season prepares to launch in Kingston, Jamaica on April 4th to 6th, with events following in Florida, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. The public lesson that Lyles and Benjamin received sheds light on the complex business challenges facing track and field as it strives for greater commercial success. The discussion ended with the key takeaway that the sport does generate money, but struggles to accumulate enough profits, emphasizing the need for a stronger business model. Will track and field ever find the right formula to achieve the mainstream success? Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel for more updates.
I start struggling. I can try to blame that man. Have some respect, big man. And them that upset me. Them thing now me hear about it, me I say, what?
The story began at Jamaica's prestigious Racers Track Club, where coach Glenn Mills transformed raw talent into Olympic medalists. Blake joined the club in 2009, following Bolt's extraordinary success at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Under Mills's guidance, Blake achieved remarkable results, including silver medals in both 100 meters and 200 meters at the London Olympics. The training environment at Racers Track Club fostered multiple champions, with Mills's expertise playing a crucial role in developing world-class sprinters. These achievements made the recent criticism even more surprising to many in the track and field community.
Gentlemen, drive, field, drive.
Set.
We are pick up for. That can benefit you. Yes, you pick. Not even fractionally big.
Bolt's defensive mills came with specific examples of the coach's impact. Blake is the second fastest man in the world, while Warren won a bronze at the Olympics and silver at the World Championships, Bolt said.